Please be happy. This is the demo of this game. The music seems awfully loud to me. I don't know if it's loud on your guys' end though. This is obviously a visual novel. I say obviously, even though you probably might not have known that. I'm gonna
tweak a couple things.
Oh yeah. I was wondering if they had. I thought they might have had voice. Just wasn't sure. Be full screen. Text. Let's up the message speed a little bit. I don't really know what the difference is. I thought it would show at the bottom, but it doesn't seem to. Sound. I'm going to lower the sound. I don't think it needs to be blaring in my ears. I mean, that's pretty good. I want the voice volume to be all the way up. I like it when the voice volume is all the way up. Okay. New game? Alright, here we go.
I wonder what Wellington will be like.
Fog settled over the forest, far from the villages and towns, and with it came silence. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of the grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen, once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like greeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the traveler sat to take a rest. Whoosh. With the scrabbling and nails on rotten wood, a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you. They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first, there was no reaction, and then, first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air. Then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild, wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offerings still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaws around the gift, a bond was made. Maybe we aren't so different, you and I. The travelers returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day they brought some treat for their new friend. Each day the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
Goodness. I really, really like the art style. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. This writing oddly reminds me of Fall Streak. It's very concise and detailed. It's got depth to it. A lot of visual novels don't really have depth to them, the ones that I've read. The travelers sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too? This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow.
Oh, fox ain't gonna like that.
Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world.
Ain't that the truth?
Yet, it's some place I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too. Your home is all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
Really, really like that voice actor. Actress, whatever. Like, you can actually tell there's actual emotion in her voice and everything. Some visual novel voice actors are like monotonous. There's not very much emotion in them. It's kind of like watching Bella Swan in Twilight. That's what they sound like. All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would always carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently.
We have now docked at Wellington Skyport. Thank you for flying with Kiwi Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. Someone's hiding in the closet? What? I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for I don't even know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. A parade of footsteps begins to pass by outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. Oh my gosh, I love that she blinks. It's the little things, you know? I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I stepped out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Humans, they're always kinda slow. I nod the smiling flight attendant as I pass her by, and then throw up my hood to cover my face. You mean cover your ears? It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it is to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath and savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand. Okay.
I made it!
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the skyport. Aww. So happy. A few clouds drift lazily overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling into the shore is like a lullaby. Makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here, and there's one more challenge ahead. Does New Zealand use a different language? I'm not sure. Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Human surely processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. While I do like the ambience, I'm not sure if I like the tide coming in and out. Because we're in this area and it sounds like the ocean is right beside us. It just doesn't really fit. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after the other, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet and then hands it back to him, and he continues on out of the sky. He? That was a female's voice.
Next.
That's a female's voice. Why? I don't understand the he. Unless there's a guard and then someone else doing the stamping? That's me. I don't know what they do to people without any papers, but I don't want to find out. I'm sure it involves lots of questions, being escorted around, and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and tail calm, I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Now, can they see your ears? Is this fine? Is this natural? Because her hood's not up in the image.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless clunky phone that I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it. Yeah. Wouldn't it be a she? I think they got the wrong voice actor.
Oh, let me get that for you.
Is it a guy? Androgynous? Is that what they call him? And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait!
Oh, you clever. I'm trying to, like, listen to it. I guess it could go either way. Oh, I don't know.
Stop!
Oh, that's a guy. By the time I realize what's happened, I already have a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed, combined with the natural chaos of the skyport, should also buy me a bit of time. Still, I've gotta get them off my tail. Oh, this is a map we have options of where to go? That's interesting. Well, only one place to go. Dashing through the skyport doors and out into the road outside, I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for breath, I run into the narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but for only a moment, I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears except a slight warmth against my neck. I didn't even realize that they show you what's playing for the music in the upper right. My secret weapon. Unleash the Tatas. I don't think it's that kind of visual novel. Sorry, got your hopes up, I know. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. The oddly heavy beads strung on around my neck begin to heat up in response to my will. The soothing warmth flowing through my body. Oh my gosh, it's like the Shiko no Tama. Wait, is that right? Did I get that? I think that's it, right? Inuyasha's little bead necklace, Kagome. God, she didn't really put it on him, but you know, sit boy. No. Shiko no Tama is the jewel that they're looking for, I think. I don't know what the beaded necklace is called. My hands and feet begin to morph first, with the fur chasing out my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. The sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and head shift and turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, my once human face shifting and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process complete after barely a few seconds. I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. That necklace is huge on that fox. I dart away without a second thought, far quicker on 4 legs than I ever could be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead will be a pain to get past as a human, but instead I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down.
That's her! I know it!
Sounds like the security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. Okay, so it's not unusual for this kind of thing. This is a world of furries! As heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. Oh, dang. This is what? A 9-tailed fox, it looks like? I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure that I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. A familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, and I open my eyes to glance at my human hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off my jacket and hands, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back into the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me. Just the way I like it.
Left, right, pass a turn, left.
She's searching... I assume... God. Is she the fox from the beginning? Because nothing was mentioned about all those tails. Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful a city it is. So it doesn't seem like it. Without a moment now to take in the scenery, with a moment, I can see they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything's very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills now that I look around some. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in this direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. When I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail and runs away. Typical dogs. I think they got big voices, then they just go "Arr!" After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is a variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can already tell that I'll be able to do most of my shopping around here. There's stores with food, with clothes, and with just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. Sly Fox. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later, after all the shops are closed. Then, a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up. Prying open the black leather pockets, I find
Score!
a couple of bills and what I figure is a local currency. I slide the money out and into a pocket on my jacket. By now the man is so far ahead that he's almost out of my sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him to give him back his wallet, and he barely even says thank you. Wow, what a jerk. Seriously.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
He's probably thinking she probably stole everything in it. It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have ever gotten it back without me. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy, nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh, well, I mean, it's good for her food. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, as I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the path. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. $15. Water's pretty cheap. I'm sure you can get something to eat too. A charming little chime rings out from above the door as I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which is all the better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House!
Go. Is that your hair? Or do you have yours too? The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, and she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in her other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one.
I don't know what that is.
Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5. I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? Hell, I don't know. Not wanting to commit to this strange sounding drink, I'll look at the menu instead. Just ask what it is. I love the barista's hair though. If that's her hair. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is. Can I get water?
I'll just have a vanilla latte.
Oh.
Ugh, boring. But okay.
Wow.
Name?
Seriously?
Miho.
It's my first time testing out how that name sounds, and I decide that I like it. I decided on the airship that I was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life that I can't remember most of them. For each new city that I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. Did the person in the beginning ever give the fox a name? I don't think they did they? She scribbled something on the cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
I hand her the brown bill and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
She sure seems... Gosh, really? She sure seems... Good God. Cause sure has a SH sound and seems doesn't. Enthusiastic. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking about somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets, so I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. This cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. What are those called? Oh, I can't remember the name of them. But they're those like little tiny plants. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than place without it.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Oh, that's gonna be expensive. Looking down to the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to this cafe. It's useful, but doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. Only to find a higher vantage point. I move my finger along the hills I noticed from outside, following the little brown path to a patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now.
Miho!
My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks!
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hand, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. It's as sunny and blue a day as I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there.
It's called the Weather Channel.
I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
Succulents. That's what I'm thinking of. Succulents. Plants. Anyway. She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I had my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. Oh, so it is her. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life being spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. I'd been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I boarded, well, snuck onto, the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but the clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hand. They misspelled footpath. Footpath. They stop outside one of the buildings and take a deep breath and pat their face a couple times and then go outside. They must not be looking forward to whatever's going to happen in there. Maybe they had to fight someone. Through the large glass windows of another store... Be through? A fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed, so this is kind of like a furry type of environment. World. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in such a busy city. Eventually I go to sip my coffee, only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be the perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'll find an empty building I can crash in, but it's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off on a long walk to the summit. Alright, away we go. Now playing Sketchbook. The path to the mountain turns out to be less simple than the map made it look. First, a trail takes me along the waterfront, and then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among the trees and their tall shadows makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards or upon marked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to go check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from one of the other floating islands. There's still a ways to go to the top of the mountain, but luckily the walk has been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of road. I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by. She walked all that way with an empty cup? Seriously?
How far is it from here?
Oh, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of the floating island we're on, miles out in the open sky. I survey the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really doesn't look far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes aren't that much better than the humans. Then I noticed something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. Must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to them before first. When I press my eyes to the same spot that the child did though, all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Is this thing busted? Some text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Lucky for me, it's a coin that's a 50 on it. I put the coin that I received from the barista in the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, then when I put my eyes to it again...
Yes!
Everything looks so much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. I aim the viewing glasses at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. God, there's so many places. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk sneaking into one of those either. As I'm studying the signs, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again the view goes black. Stupid machine. I smack it a couple times and check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever.
While the image is fresh in my mind, I sit down on a nearby bench and pull out a pencil and some crumpled papers from my pocket. I always carry a few with me. I sort through them until I find one that's still blank. Where does all her crap go when she, like, shifts into fox form? If she's always carrying a pencil and some papers. Using my knee as a table, I sketch out the view before me. The trees to cover the bay, the buildings far below. You never know what information will be useful later. I add more detail to my drawings of the bigger, more important buildings. Others are just represented with simple, rough squares. The view is pretty, that's for sure. It didn't really help much though. Once I'm confident I've jotted down everything I need to, I carefully fold the paper and put it back in my pocket.
Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I bet it's gonna rain on her. I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off into the underbrush.
Not perfect, but it'll do.
It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything around here seems city-fied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people. A place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I transform again. My neck gets warm as my beads activate, and a few seconds later, I'm on all fours. As a fox, the sensations of nature are much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, and the breeze whips through my fur like a massage. I hurry down a hill covered in grass so tall that it reaches way over my head. I can smell fresh water and follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to quench my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at the cafe, but in a different way. And being able to slurp up water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw, or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. Of course not. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now, while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on both sides and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot that I settle on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing that I'll be out of sight. And so, I start to dig. My claws rip away the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First I dig forward, and then downwards, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. A regular fox? I think that's why I don't mind it too much, compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars start to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat, and then transform back into my human form.
Spread this here, a couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything out of place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite, and not the kind that'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of forgot just how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city. Okay, Den. Okay, Den. Oh, it's chapter 1, day 1. Alright. That is going to end the stream for this demo of a game. It's not bad. It's not really much happening in the first part. That's kind of a bummer. But we know that she was looking for the person that used to visit, but she never found them, so now she kind of just wanders around city to city. Wanderlust, you know? Yeah. I like the voice actors so far, all of them. They seem to fit the characters pretty well. Oh, that guard threw me off. He just sounded feminine until I started reading the he. Don't know when exactly this game comes out, but I know it's 2021, so probably expect it pretty soon. I'm curious to know if she does meet up with the guy, and if it happens, or when it happens. So far, I really like the music. Music is very nice. There are certain points in not the music, I don't think, but the ambience kind of like stops and begins its track again, so that kind of like jars you a little bit if you're listening to it constantly. You can hear it reset. It's not a smooth transition.